Hello everybody, it's Celeste here and welcome to A Crafter's Story. Thank you for stopping by. I'm going to show you something that I just recently found out about, and that is how to make your drawings with crayons look like a painting. So I'm going to use my Prisma crayons, and I'm a little awkward today, guys. I'm sorry, I have an injured thumb. I smashed it in a car door yesterday, and then I said ouch in about 5 different languages. Some of them, well, you know, it hurt. So okay, let me get back to business here. The craft goes on. So I'm going to use the Prisma colors, the Premier Prisma colors. However, if you have just regular store-bought sort of school grade crayons, they're going to work just fine. That's these ones here. My Prisma colors that I'm going to use are here, and if you have watercolor pencils, they would work as well. So that was just a sort of a try that I tried, but I think let me explain to you what I'm doing, because I'm probably talking a little backwards here. This is a pumpkin that I drew with my Prisma colors, and then came in with some rubbing alcohol, which I think I put away, but just regular rubbing alcohol that I got a little bit in here already. I think mine is 91% rubbing alcohol that you just buy at the pharmacy. And once you've drawn your image, you go over it with the rubbing alcohol and it smooths out the crayon. So there was my first attempt with the pumpkins. And then I borrowed the design from a napkin. So I cut it out, put on some cardstock so it becomes a stencil, and traced it off, and then colored it in, put down the alcohol, let it dry, colored it in again, more alcohol, and sort of layered it until I got this very saturated color of these two butterflies. So let me show you. I have a little I've used this napkin as my inspiration, and I've got something just penciled in here. I don't think you can see it, it's pretty light, and you've got to use a little bit of pressure. So I'm going to start, and that I think is going to be let's see how I do. Yeah, I'm fine. This thumb is a little getting in the way a little bit, but I'm going to put in my darker purple just in the on the inner part. And the trick with this craft, you guys, is going to be layering. So there is my first layer, and then I'll go in with a slightly lighter color and fill it in a bit more. And so this is how you go all the way around, and then I'll take the pinker color and and finish it off. So you, depending on you, try not to do very sharp outlines because they're going to show, or very, you know, don't press too hard with the outlines, and then just layer. So the other thing I want to mention with this craft is don't, and you'll find it as you experiment, don't add too many colors next to each other. Just like watercolors, it will muddy. It'll become muddy once you put the alcohol down. So just a couple of little tips, but play around with this craft. It really is, or this sort of drawing technique, it really is a lot of fun. So there's a lot of layering that you'll be doing. And I'm going to do one petal and one leaf, and you don't have to fill in. I'm just doing the different shades of the color to see if I can get kind of like I suppose like a gradient effect, right? There we go. I think maybe that's the contrast between I'm hoping that I can blend some of this purple into the pink. We'll see. Where did my other green? Oh, there it is. Okay, and then I have a leaf here, so let's see. Oh, this feels so awkward with this silly thing. I'm mad at myself because it was a dumb mistake. I looked away as I closed the door and the wind was blowing and wasn't paying attention. But I thought I saw something on the ground, and because I'm I'm like a crow. I see something shiny and I go, ooh, shiny. And it turned out to be nothing. So I'm suffering for my silliness. Anyway. Alright, so I think to my point, I've made a mistake here by putting my darker green all the way around. I really shouldn't have, because I need this lighter green to be at the top. And so hopefully I can blend that and then you won't see it. Alright, so just like that, let me get out, I'm going to get a thinner brush out, but I find that the brushes that have, the square brushes that have a little bit more resistance to them works better. These sort of pointy ones are a bit too floppy, and they didn't work as well. So I'm going to a little bit of this, just a little bit of this alcohol, tiny bit. Let's start blending. There you go. Oh, it's blending beautifully. So it's not going to blend. Oh, maybe if I keep rubbing over this middle bit, it'll soften it. I think that's happening. Maybe not as much as I'd hoped, but not bad. And don't use too much alcohol either, you guys. I'll show you here. Do you see how there's like a pink, almost like a pink shadow here? That's because I used too much alcohol and it bled. So less is more with this craft, and you can always come back and add more color or wait for it to dry and do a little extra blending. But I find that I definitely am going to advocate for these square brushes that have a slightly sort of more coarse edge, maybe even if you have an old brush. And watercolor paper is my go-to because it can handle the wetness that I'm subjecting it to. Printer paper didn't work. Alright, so there is my first petal, and let me do a side by side so you can see the difference between the petal that was treated with the alcohol, the one that went to the party, and the one that didn't go to the party. Oh, that was the wrong purple. Never mind. I thought I picked up the darker purple, but I picked up the lighter one. I want to make sure you guys can still see me in frame there. Maybe if I don't press so hard, I'm just thinking now, if I don't press as hard and I put on a softer layer between the middle purple and the pink, I wonder if it'll blend better. And this time I won't do an outline. Didn't matter on this one, thankfully. But, oh, I just did it. Don't do outlines, Celeste. Okay, so, and then I can blend into the adjacent color just to help with some of the blending. Alright, and then, like I said, if there isn't enough color down, you wait for it to dry. This one, I think we've got enough color, But if you ever feel like you don't have enough color, just wait for it to dry, add a bit more color and a bit more of the alcohol, and you are good to go. Alright, so there you can see the difference between where, even if I had to keep going and add more of the pencil crayons, because this is watercolor paper, and I think probably with any of the papers you'll see that there's little bits of the white coming through, right, from the paper, and blending it with the alcohol just it's like it melts the crayon, right, like that. Okay, so let's see how this leaf turns out. So I'm going to put on a bit of music, stop yakking away, and let's see how this leaf turns out. So I've gone ahead and colored in everything. Now this leaf over here, there was a distinct difference between the greens, and I had to go in with my darker green and color in some of the area above, and so I'm going to have to go in with more alcohol. And this one is also I need to go in with a little more of the color. The alcohol has now dried, so I can come in and go over where the white is still showing through. So there you go. Come in with a little bit more of the pink where the white is showing through. And the other thing that I've noticed is that my pencil markings, my graphite, just my regular pencil that I used to trace out the design to begin with, shines through in places, so you want to keep that very, very light as well. So there we go. I think that is now, it's almost like the alcohol treats the paper a little bit, because when I come in with the color after the alcohol is dried, it's like it is smoother. Maybe it's just because there's no white showing through and it's an illusion for me, but There you go. So those two are done, these three are not. I'm going to do this little leaf with you, and then I will, I wanted to quickly just finish up this middle piece. I've got some brown, a little bit of yellow, and I suppose you don't have to if you've got enough color down. You may not actually have to go in with alcohol in places, because I definitely don't want this brown and yellow to seep into my purple and pink. So I might just leave that alone. See if we can just smooth out some of this green, and then I will go and finish up these 3 petals, and I think we can do the big reveal afterwards. I do find that sometimes with these colors that are, this is all green, but if the shades, there's definitely, it works with a flower between the pink and the purple. Doesn't quite work as well with the greens being so, the hues being so different. So I think I'm probably going to have to do what I did there and come in with some of the darker on the tip here. Go make sure. Yeah, I think probably. But that is all part of this this craft, you guys. Just experiment with your colors, see what works. That first pumpkin that I did was all streaky, and it's okay, but then I did the butterflies and they turned out better. Here with the leaves, I'm maybe having a little bit more of an issue, so that's a learning curve. But maybe I like the streaking that's happening here, I don't know. That could work. I think I'll come in with a little darker color for the tip. But yeah, so I will go and finish off and then come and show you how it looks. You guys, I think I'm going to leave it here, but I've noticed a few mistakes that I've made, and I think the one that jumps out at me the most is where I can see my pencil, my graphite pencil marking. Do you see that there? And here as well, in fact all the petals. So I think I really need to see how I might be able to make that lighter, so it doesn't, especially with these lighter colors. I didn't have that problem when I did these butterflies, and I think it's because the colors were darker, and so I didn't realize it on this one. But if your colors are lighter as with the petals excuse me, then it's an issue. So I'm going to have to concentrate on that. And if you want to now come in with a paint pen, it will work. So if you wanted to come in with a paint pen and put in some veins, let's say, on the leaves, you can do that. Alright, you guys, thank you so much for joining me, and let's see if I can fit these guys in. There you go. And I will see you next time. Bye.